The movie opens with a note stating that it is a fictional story inspired by true events. We are then introduced to our protagonist, Hope Goodman, who is a successful esthetician. Hope is well known for her exceptional treatments and high-quality products, with over 20 years of experience. She has worked tirelessly to establish her reputation, and serves high-profile clients. Now, Hope is ready to launch her own skincare line, and arrives on the popular Brett and Kylie show to promote her brand. During the show, the host praises her success, and Hope claims that she wants to ensure only top-notch products for her customers. She then states that the official launch is still 2 weeks away, and requests that customers be patient until then. A few days later, after promoting her skincare line on the show, Hope learns that a new business will be opened directly across from hers. Curious, she decides to check it out, and grabs some gifts as well. She is surprised to see a brochure indicating that the premise is actually a skincare boutique. Hope then introduces herself to the owner, Angel Vergara, as his neighbor. She gives him some of her skincare products, which Angel appreciates. During this, the man asks Hope if she feels he's intruding on her territory, but she simply states that they do not cater to the same clientele. Angel suddenly asks her not to park where she usually does because it's now for his customers, which makes Hope feel irritated. Upon returning to her studio, Hope meets an old woman named Colleen, one of her loyal clients. The woman then introduces Hope to her new friend, Jordan, who is only 26 years old. Later, while doing a facial, Hope asks Colleen about her relationship with Jordan, so the old woman responds that she's just keeping him around and is not really serious about it. She also mentions that Jordan is a survivor, just like Hope, and suggests that they might have a lot in common. In the evening, Hope goes to a restaurant to meet with a friend, when she comes across an advertisement about Angel's studio in a magazine, which upsets her. Her friend Jessica arrives shortly after, and it turns out she is a well-known actress. Hope gives her the latest moisturizer, and tells her to share it online. Jessica agrees, but suddenly asks about the new store that is opened directly across from Hope's. She asks if it's her store as well, but Hope nervously denies it. After Jessica leaves, a frustrated Hope steps outside, and she unexpectedly notices Jordan in front of the restaurant and approaches him. The two then head to a bar, and Jordan admits that he's a big fan of Hope's work, and is inspired by her achievements. To add, he reveals that he's a life coach, who helps people get their lives back on track. He also hands her his business card, and offers to help her if she ever needs it. In the evening, while Hope is doing her skincare routine, she suddenly receives a message from an unknown number. It's a video of her in the studio, captured by someone who appears to be stalking her. Hope calls the number right away, but no one speaks on the other end, leaving her worried. The next morning, Hope calls Colleen, and expresses her excitement that her episode of Brett and Kylie will air today. Strangely, Colleen is more concerned about an unexpected email Hope sent her last night. And when Hope checks her email, she discovers a bizarre message sent to every contact in her address book. The email explains how horny and desperate she is, as well as how her business is currently failing, and putting her in debt. Colleen asks if she was drunk last night, but Hope denies it and claims that her email has been hacked. Upon her arrival at the studio, Hope finds her assistant, Maureen, in a state of panic. Maureen reveals that 2 of their clients have called to cancel their appointments because of the email. This news deeply worries Hope, so she instructs Maureen to send another apology email to everyone, explaining that her account was hacked. After that, the 2 sit in front of the TV, eagerly awaiting the Brett and Kylie show. But to their surprise, instead of her segment, another one featuring Angel as the guest is shown. Angel proudly talks about his studio, where he claims to use NASA-developed technology in his beauty treatments. He assures that it can reverse aging, and calls it a revolution in the beauty industry. Seeing this, Hope feels deeply disheartened. In the evening, she arrives at a restaurant and meets Brett, who is one of the hosts of the show. When she asks why her segment was not aired, Brett explains that it was the producer's decision. Hope also mentions the disturbing email, and worries that someone might be trying to sabotage her. Following this, Brett drives her home, and promises to speak with the producers about her segment. He then begins to compliment her beauty before kissing her unexpectedly. Hope is taken aback, as she knows he's married. She takes out her phone, saying that Maureen has been calling her all night. Here Brett reveals that he has been having problems with his wife and that they are likely to divorce. He suddenly offers her a deal, saying that he'll air her segment on the show if she agrees to sleep with him. Just then, she pulls out her phone again, and says that she accidentally recorded their entire conversation. Brett freaks out, and demands that she delete it, so Hope reassures him that she has already deleted it. The man believes that she hasn't and tries to stop her, but to no avail. The next morning, Hope is in her studio when she notices the actress Jessica in the distance, and feels confused since they weren't scheduled to meet today. She goes outside to greet her, but is shocked to see Jessica hugging Angel and heading to his studio. This infuriates Hope, so she storms inside and accuses her friend of being a traitor. Jessica explains that she is only here to get a facial, but Hope starts creating a huge scene. Angel asks Hope not to scream at his clients, while Hope warns Jessica that if she gets a facial here, she'll never be allowed back in her studio. The actress doesn't seem to care, so Hope returns to her studio in frustration after cursing at them. Later, as Hope is about to leave for home, she notices that someone has slashed her car tires. Frustrated, she calls a mechanic friend named Armin, who arrives promptly to help her. Armin replaces the tires, and informs her that this could be a warning from someone who intends to harm her. Hope then shows him the sexually explicit messages she has been receiving, so Armin advises that she should get a gun for protection. He also hints that he likes her and suggests they hang out sometime, but Hope doesn't seem very interested, and leaves after thanking him for his help. After this, Hope heads to a store to buy a gun, and tries out one of the models. But when she realizes they are too expensive, she settles for a $30 pepper spray instead. The next day, as Hope is giving a facial to a client, a homeless-looking man arrives at the reception area, and demands to see her. The man suddenly states that he is here for the posting. He doesn't provide any details when asked, and begins yelling aggressively. Hearing the commotion, Hope rushes outside to see what's happening, and the man tells Hope that he's here to sleep with her. Fortunately, Jordan appears out of nowhere, and kicks the man out of the studio. In the next scene, Hope calls the police, and searches her name on the internet. But she is shocked to discover her photoshopped images on a sketchy website, where men are encouraged to come to her studio and forcefully sleep with her. Despite this, the cop doesn't take it seriously. He simply gives Hope his phone number, asking her to call if she is scared. Hope also notices Angel watching her studio from a distance, and becomes suspicious of him. Afterward, Hope thanks Jordan for his help, and asks what advice he would give to her business if she were his client. He responds that there are many lies about her on the internet, so she should create a social media account to showcase her true self. He also suggests throwing a party to celebrate the launch of her product line, inviting a large number of VIPs. Hope is genuinely impressed by the idea, so she agrees right away. In the next scene, Jordan helps Hope take some pictures for her social media. They become very close during this time, and end up getting intimate. The next morning, Hope receives unfortunate news from Brett, who informs her that her segment cannot be aired, because the producers don't want to feature skincare content back to back. He also asks her to delete the recording, but Hope assures him that she has already done so. She then threatens to speak directly with the producers about her episode, so the anxious Brett promises to ensure that her segment airs. In the following days, Hope begins to lose clients gradually due to her bad reputation on the internet. She also continues to receive unsolicited nude pictures and sexually suggestive messages on her phone. On the contrary, Angel's business is thriving, and his customer base is growing day by day. Hope is shocked to see that many of her former clients have abandoned her, and now visit him instead. This leads her to suspect that Angel might be behind the situation, and that he's trying to sabotage her great business out of jealousy. One evening, a paranoid Hope follows Angel to his home to investigate what he's up to. She stays in her car and observes him, but sees nothing suspicious aside from him singing karaoke to relieve his frustration. Hope then calls Jordan, and tells him that she's outside Angel's house and hasn't found anything incriminating. But she's convinced that he's the culprit and is determined to catch him soon. Elsewhere, Jordan seems to be busy doing drugs, and recording motivational videos. Outside, the homeless-looking man who showed up at Hope's studio arrives with a friend. He demands money from Jordan, and it's shockingly revealed that the homeless-looking man is actually an actor working for Jordan to cause a scene at Hope's studio. Later, Jordan meets with Hope, who who is freaking out and accusing Angel of everything. Jordan calms her down and assures her that he will move into her house for now so she will feel safe. He also promises to talk to Angel himself and handle the situation. Hearing this, Hope is finally relieved and thanks him for his help. The next day, Jordan goes to meet Angel and introduces himself as a life coach. He suggests a collaboration and offers his services to Angel's VIP customers. However, Angel is weirded out by such a strange man and declines the offer. Jordan then leaves the studio in frustration and calls Hope, claiming that he spoke with Angel and resolved everything. He assures her that Angel is not going to be a problem anymore, which makes Hope very happy. Later, she is doing her skincare routine, right when she hears someone breaking into the house. She goes to see what's happening, and soon notices an old man checking her phone. Hope immediately confronts the man with a pepper spray and manages to chase him away. Meanwhile, Jordan is seen deleting the posts about Hope from the sketchy website. He was certainly the one who orchestrated the entire scheme to sabotage Hope. He soon gets a call from Hope, who frantically explains how she was attacked. A shocked Jordan says it's not possible, but Hope regrets trusting him, and accuses him of worsening the situation. She then asks him to stay away, and abruptly hangs up the call. Desperate for help, Hope goes to meet Armin, and explains the entire situation to him, detailing how Angel has been harassing her. Armin tells her not to worry, and that he'll handle the situation. Hope says she doesn't want anyone to get hurt, so Armin assures her that he won't do such a thing. He asks her not to discuss the situation with anyone, and promises that Angel won't bother her again. The next day, Hope seems to be in a better mood, which surprises Maureen. She ignores Jordan's phone calls, but when he sends her a portrait of herself, she decides to forgive him. Soon after, Hope receives a call from the detective, who asks her to meet outside. Upon meeting him, he shows her the CCTV footage from when her car's tires were slashed. Surprisingly, the culprit turns out to be not Angel, but her own friend, Jordan. The detective asks if she knows the man, but Hope says she doesn't and nervously leaves. After this, she frantically calls Jordan multiple times, but he doesn't pick up. We then see Jordan approaching the same homeless-looking guy again, and asking him to attack Hope tomorrow. This time, he orders the man to bring his friend, and make the scene more brutal than before, so Jordan can swoop in and save the day. Elsewhere, Hope tries to reach Armin to forget about her issues, but it is already too late. The mechanic is already at Angel's house. He then enters inside, and begins beating up Angel, asking if he knows who Hope Goodman is. Angel responds that he knows her, but doesn't care about her and has nothing to do with her. However, Armin doesn't believe it, and continues to brutally attack him. Shortly after, Hope arrives at the house to stop Armin, but she finds Angel lying unconscious on the floor, badly injured. It turns out that Armin has already left the scene, but he has received a significant blow to his head. As a result, he can't concentrate on the road, and crashes into a van. The next morning, Hope asks Jordan to meet her in person. He tries to refuse, but she insists it's urgent because something bad has happened to Angel. When she arrives at her workplace, she notices several police officers around Angel's studio and panics. Meanwhile, Jordan calls the police anonymously, and informs them that Hope Goldman has been stalking her neighbor, Angel Vergara, and plotting against him. Later, Hope receives the news that Armin was killed in a car accident last night. But before she can process the information, a cop arrives at her studio to inform her that Angel Vergara was attacked, and is in the hospital in critical condition. After the officer leaves, Hope breaks down in tears, blaming Jordan for everything. In the next scene, Hope arrives at Jordan's place, and sees him packing his belongings, getting ready to leave. She accuses him of orchestrating the entire situation to sabotage her life, but he claims that he only did it because he's in love with her. Hope doesn't believe this, and tries to use pepper spray on him, but he dodges it and throws her to the ground. It turns out he had been manipulating Hope's life, just so he could swoop in as the savior, and prove his worth as a life coach. Since he was broke and good for nothing, he planned to make her dependent on him so he could exploit her. The two then get into a fight, but Hope eventually smashes his head with a bat and breaks his nose. Knowing that the cards aren't in her favor, Hope returns to her home, puts makeup on, and prepares for the worst. Shortly after, The cops bang on her door, and she allows herself to be arrested. She smiles at the cameras, and informs the officers that Jordan is behind everything, and has been harassing her for the past few weeks. Elsewhere, Jordan, who is trying to flee, is also apprehended by the police and arrested. The scene then cuts to a few days later, when we see Angel in his studio, revealing that he has survived the attack. He is surrounded by reporters eager to get his side of the story, but Angel refuses to speak. Elsewhere, the old man who broke into Hope's house meets with Brett at the studio, and reveals that the recording has been deleted. It turns out he was sent by Brett to check Hope's phone. As the movie concludes, we see Hope once again becoming the talk of the town. Her skincare line begins rapidly selling out, and her segment finally airs on the Brett and Kylie show, though now dubbing her the killer facialist.